Man versus gun.
Fusil automatique léger. Hello shooters, this Man versus Gun installment is about the FN FAL. So as always, we're going to start the buttstock. The buttstock on the FN FAL is rubber, at least on the FN, there's a whole bunch of different varieties. The one I have is a rubber butt plate. It's curved, so it fits the shoulder nicely. It's not slick, so it gets a superior rating for the butt plate. The buttstock is a good shape. It's plastic, so it's not going to gain weight when it gets wet, or something like some wood will swell in humidity or whatever. Plastic is better than wood for a fighting rifle, and it gives a good cheek weld. It gives an excellent cheek weld. It is non-adjustable, it's fixed, but the design of it, with regards to what they had to work with, it's a good design. Where the non-adjustability comes in, the length of pull. The length of pull is really long. It's 14 3/8 inches long. This is how they fit rifles back in the old days when you wanted a long buttstock for doing your your target stuff. It's totally inadequate for fighting purposes. The trigger pull is good. It's a little bit hard, but it's short, relatively short, and it's not mushy or anything. It's a good trigger pull. Pistol grip is plastic. There's a bunch of different pistol grips that comes with these. This comes with like a saw type pistol grip, so it's a good pistol grip. It fits the hand well. It's not too skinny. It flares at the bottom. Some of them do have storage capability in the bottom. Mine does not. Next we go to the mag well. The mag well is not flared. It's steel. For right-handers, it has this shelf over here that it really helps. You can just, in the dark, whatever, the magazine hits that shelf and you rock it up. Left hand is not so nice. Not as nice as right-handed. It can be done, but it's just not as nice as right-handed because the shelf's in the way now. You got to bring the mag out away from you and in to utilize the shelf. The magazine itself, they're steel magazines. They're not super heavy. They're kind of a lightweight magazine for steel. So it's a good magazine. The magazine release is a paddle type, but it's got checkering on it. AK is a paddle type too, but it can be slick because there's no checkering at all. This is angled and it does have checkering on it, and it works just as well right-handed or left-handed. So the magazine release works good there. The safety, I have the inch type safety on mine right here. The most of the FNs that you run into have a little button type selector safety thing, and it is inadequate. That's why I switched mine out for the inch type. Inch type is much better. The button type, I cannot reach it when I'm in a firing position. I have to shift my hand around. This one, when I'm in a firing position, I can reach the selector, so it's good. So if you have an FN FAL and you don't have like gorilla hands, really long thumbs, then the inch selector is what you want. It helps you out. Okay, the charging handle is in a perfect spot for a right-hander. It's a good shape. Some of these are made out of aluminum. It's a knob, kind of like the SKS. It's not a hook like the AK. In fact, maybe the SKS or maybe the FN, who knows? They are developed around the same time frame. But the knob works really, really well for a left-hander. It's in a perfect place. Notice I can do this all day long with it still in my shoulder. Can't do that with an AR. But for left-handed operation, it's just like an AK. It sucks. Okay, there's no way to do it from over here. You gotta come under or you gotta come over. Okay. The bolt catch release is right here. It's a little thing you push up. You push up to have it release. To lock, and then you just take your thumb and you pull down, and that's how you release it. It's not quite as efficient to operate left-handed because you have to do the kind of three-hand dance kind of deal. But it works really well to let the ball go left-handed with your trigger finger there. So that works. Excuse me. Ejection of brass is good right-handed or left-handed. It ejects the brass. I don't remember where on the clock it ejects it, but you'll never have a problem shooting right or left-handed with it. Brass is never going to hit your face. The rear sight is a peep affair, and it's on a slider. You can kind of see it slides up and down there. There's no protection, which is bad. No protection on the rear sight at all. And on every FAL I've ever handled, you can wiggle the front sight quite a ways. So the front sight is not a very good design, and it's not protected well. The handguard, the front handguard, it's a good handguard. It's plastic. It's long, which aids in, you know, I can get my hand way out there, so it's not too short. I've never had a problem with heat. I've never fired these things full auto. And with a 20-round mag, you know, you're kind of limited to, you know, you can't crank off as many rounds as you can like an AR, a 5.56, or even an AK. So I've never had any problem with heat with the FN FAL handguard. So I think it's a good handguard. The front sight is a round post, somewhat like a M16A1 or an AK, and it has a really good set of ears for protection, so that's really good. The muzzle device that I run Phantoms on almost everything that I have. I really like them. They do an excellent job of flash suppression. Some of them have a little bit of a comp capability depending upon the firearm. This does not. It won't do anything to help keep the muzzle down at all, but it will eliminate the flash from a short-barreled 7.62 by 51 or 308, whichever you want to call it. FN FALs are not typically optics compatible. You can get another one of these that has a Picatinny rail up on the top, but then you run into cheek weld issues because it's not going to be as flat as low as the sights. So it's complicated. It's not near as easy to add an optic to one of these as to like an AR. So they're not very optics compatible. Sling mounts as they come. I've taken the sling mounts off this thing. I'm not a huge sling guy. I really don't like slings so much. But typically they'll have a sling swivel up here, and you can see here on the butt stock where they're able to put a sling there. It's old school sling mounts, you know, for just putting the sling around your shoulder, you know, and holding it like this or whatever. So overall, the FN FAL gets really high marks for being as old as it is, because this was developed right after World War II. It's an excellent rifle, and if you learn the idiosyncrasies, you can run it really, really well. It's an intuitive rifle. It's very easy to run after just a short amount of time learning the manual of arms. Highly recommended. So now we're going to go to the range portion. You see me shooting this. Oh, there is one thing I got to point out. This carry handle is 100% superfluous. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of weight. When I had this thing set up for running it myself, I removed that totally because it's a total waste to have it on there. But I've put it back on there for this video because that's how they come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, shooters, the biggest thing that holds the FN FAL back is the long length of pull. In every drill that I do, it is a hindrance instead of a benefit. There's no benefit at all to that long length of pull. A buddy of mine has a FN that has a collapsible stock. I'm looking forward to testing that to see how it does against the FN FAL here. Other than that, shooting it as a right-handed shooter, it's a very intuitive rifle. It's very easy to run quickly. The human engineering on it from a right-hand standpoint is actually really, really good. From a left-hand standpoint, it leaves a lot to be desired, like a lot of firearms do, but this is really, really good for a strictly right-handed shooter. The non-reciprocating charging handle on the left side there makes it really nice for doing just about anything you need to do with this thing. I like non-reciprocating charging handles, unlike the AK or the SKS. Those can get in the way. You can actually induce stoppages by being around corners and windows and things that may stop that charging handle from coming back. Type 3 malfunction clearance drills down the prone, they suck no matter what. But doing it right-handed is not so bad. Doing it left-handed is a little bit worse, as you can see through the videos there. Doing these in the prone really illustrates the weaknesses of the human engineering in every firearm I've done so far. Looking forward to doing some others, but so far that holds true. I'm not sure there's a firearm on the planet that makes it nice to do malfunction clearance drills in the prone, especially doing them left-handed. They really suck that way. The long length of pull again, and I don't know what it is. The recoil impulse, as you'll see here with 10 rounds in 5 yards, it's just not as fast for me to get rounds on target as it is like with the AR-308. Here it does fine though. Doing single rounds, multiple targets, it does fine. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please post them below or hit me up on Facebook or my blog or my email or whatever. Appreciate it. See you next time.